guys, another album review for today, but I'm going to try out something a little different. My past three album reviews, what I did is I basically just gave album summaries and summarized every song, which it occurred to me maybe isn't the best for my listeners because once I get past two songs, you aren't going to remember anything. So I should try to just talk about the album as a whole, what defines it as an album, in terms of sound, in terms of feel, in terms of the themes. And so we'll see if you like that better. Anyways, today's album is La Era Oscura by La Procesión de lo Infinito from Colombia. And the two band members are Neftis Nacht on vocals and then Aristoene also on vocals as well as guitars and programming. And they have existed since 2009 and they had a few singles come out, but this is I believe, their only full-length album, which includes two of those singles. And anyways, let's get started on the album itself. It has a very fitting title. It is very much describing, a dark sort of era. Unless you've seen their music video, you probably haven't seen their aesthetic. The only music video they have out is for the first song, La Tumba de los Dioses, which is, the tomb of the gods, and it has a very Egyptian aesthetic to the video, and they sometimes wear, onks and things like that, which I think is an ongoing theme throughout this album. They have another song called Akasha. Those of you who are Vampire Chronicles fans or who have seen Queen of the Damned, you know that reference. And because they have this sort of ongoing motif with ancient Egyptian sorts of things and occultism, and they have a sound that we very much associate with ancient Egypt, but it's not overdone because some people will definitely take motifs like that and overdo them, but for them it's more of a flavor than anything. So you get the feel and you get, okay, so this is what we're supposed to be feeling, but it's still, they do their own thing. And as far as how do they sound, well, like I mentioned, they have two vocalists, a man and a woman, and most bands, just have one vocalist. And so, but their voices are both kind of similar in a way. I mean, they're different, but similar because they both have deep voices, which Aristo's voice is, I think, a more of a typical goth male voice, very deep, very dramatic. And then Nefti's voice is also very deep and dramatic, but I think that it's a bit more rare to find those deep goth women. And don't quote me on this, but I think her voice may even be a contralto voice. It might just be an alto voice, but I think it's a contralto voice because it's pretty deep, and we need more deep-voiced women in the media. And the way they speak, there's something about an almost soundtrack element to both the sounds of the songs and to the way they're sung, because I could imagine this, being the also because of the subject matter, the lines to, some musical about, these occult characters engaging in dark things, and this is what they're saying, because they're also very expressive and emotional and all that, and thematic in the way they speak. And the sound, I can't really, some of my previous ones I said, oh, this sounds like an 80s goth, this sounds like a 90s goth. Them, I don't know, I guess they're 2010s goth, because I can't really place them in a previous era too much. They are their own thing. Like, I wasn't listening to this thinking, oh, this is like Sisters of Mercy or something like that. They're their own thing, but they're still very identifiably goth, in my opinion, as well, which is nice because they do have a very dark sound and, a very sort of somber rock sound to them. And, they have that sort of twangy-ish high guitar that's very common in goth music, but it wasn't too derivative of, goth bands of past. So to sum it up, we have that dark sound, that dramatic sound that has a thematic element to it, and motif-wise, there's a lot of ancient Egypt, occult sort of things, and death-related things in general, which was kind of cool, and there's a very magical, but sort of dark magical feel to it. And, It's definitely an album listen, and it's a very consistent album. So if you like one song, you'll most likely enjoy all of them. And I invite you to click the Bandcamp link below where you can listen to the entire thing. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to hear about more goth media from Latin America, I invite you to subscribe or follow me in my other social media accounts. Thanks, and I hope to see you again. Bye.